I'll never forget that afternoon when I sat down at a wedding third row from the front, clutching the cheapest dress I owned, like it was armor. Everyone around me looked like they belonged in a magazine-spread silk dresses, champagne in hand, talking about summer houses and trips to Europe. And there I was, a single mom, a nurse from the city, pretending not to notice the whispers. My daughter Lily was a junior bridesmaid inside with the bridal party, and I was proud, but also painfully aware of how out of place I looked alone. Then a voice broke through. "Is this seat taken?" I looked up and nearly choked on my own breath. The man beside me didn't just look expensive, he was expensive. Ethan Carrington, CEO of a tech empire everyone in New England had heard of. He sat down like he owned. The air smiled at me and then leaned close enough for me to catch the scent of his cologne. "Do me a favor," he whispered. "Pretend we're a couple for the rest of the day." I thought I misheard. "Excuse me." But he didn't flinch. "I have my reasons. Just trust me." And before I could answer, he laced his fingers through mine. I should have pulled away, but I didn't. Maybe because the thought of not being the invisible single mom in the corner, just for once, felt too tempting. The ceremony started, and I felt his thumb tracing lazy circles on the back of my hand, a move so intimate it made my pulse race. But then I noticed the groom's family staring, whispers already spreading. And when one silver-haired man approached later, his eyes sharp with recognition, everything shifted. "Porter," he asked my last name, rolling off his tongue like a challenge. "Any relation to Daniel Porter?" The name made my stomach twist. Daniel, my ex-husband, the man who had walked out on us 7 years ago without a word. I forced a smile. He was my husband, Lily's father. The man's gaze lingered, calculating, and when he walked away, Ethan squeezed my hand tighter. His eyes weren't playful anymore. They were grave. "That's part of the explanation I owe you," he murmured. Hours later, under the glittering chandeliers of the reception hall, he finally told me the truth. Daniel hadn't been a construction worker like he claimed. He'd been corporate security at Ethan's company, investigating a massive breach that pointed to Ethan's own Uncle Richard. Just before Daniel disappeared, the evidence vanished too. He left suddenly. "Maybe to protect you and your daughter," Ethan said. Then his voice dropped almost gentle. "And 3 months ago, he died. Car accident." I stumbled. My knees nearly buckled. For years, I'd built walls of anger, telling myself he abandoned us because he didn't care. Now Ethan was standing here telling me maybe it was sacrifice. I wanted to leave right then, but he stopped me with a letter sealed and worn, written in Daniel's handwriting. It was addressed to me. I opened it with trembling hands and read, "If you're reading this, I'm probably gone. I never stopped loving you or Lily. I had to stay away to keep you safe. The evidence is still out there hidden where only Lily can find it. Remember Orion's belt. The third star holds the truth." I couldn't breathe. My little girl, 14, now barely more than a child, was the key to a secret Daniel had buried years ago. The next morning, Ethan came to my small house with coffee and blueberry muffins, looking impossibly calm for a man unraveling family treachery. When Lily came home from her sleepover, we told her as gently as possible. She listened wide-eyed, then whispered, "Dad gave me a telescope when I turned 7. It had 3 stars engraved on it, Orion's belt." We dug through her closet until she pulled it out dusty but intact. And there it was, the third engraving different from the rest. Ethan pressed it gently, and with a faint click, a hidden compartment popped open. Inside, a micro SD card no bigger than a fingernail. We slid it into my laptop. And there it was, page after page of financial records, coded emails, photos of Richard handing off documents in foreign hotels. Proof that he'd been selling company secrets for years. Proof Daniel must have risked everything to gather. Proof he died to protect. Lily's tears fell fast, not from anger this time, but from grief. All this time, I thought he didn't care. I pulled her close, whispering, he cared more than we ever knew. But the danger wasn't over. Richard had already hinted at Lily by name at the wedding, and now we had the very evidence he'd killed to bury. Ethan insisted we pack bags and leave for his lake house remote secure. You'll be safe there while I take this to the board and the FBI, he promised. I hated trusting him, hated uprooting Lily overnight. But what choice did we have? At the lake house, while the world turned upside down, we watched the news break. Richard Carrington arrested at an airport files exposed empire crumbling. For the first time in years, I felt the weight in my chest lighten. And yet, even in victory, questions remained. Why had Daniel trusted Ethan of all people to safeguard the truth? Why had he believed Lily at just 7 was the only one who could unlock it? And what did that say about the burden we pass to our children, about the price of secrets meant to protect them? One evening I stood on the dock watching stars scatter across the lake. Lily's laughter floated from the house as she played chess with Ethan. He walked out with 2 mugs of coffee, handed me one, and said softly, "She's got her father's mind and her mother's courage." For a long moment we just stood there staring at Orion's belt. And for the first time I let myself lean against him, not for pretense, not for show, for real. But here's the thing. I still don't know if I forgive Daniel. Yes, he protected us. Yes, he sacrificed. But he also left his daughter to believe for 7 years that she wasn't worth staying for. That wound doesn't vanish with one letter or one hidden card. Maybe some of you understand that kind of hurt, the way love and betrayal can sit in the same memory. So I'll leave it to you. Was Daniel a hero or a coward? Would you call it sacrifice or abandonment? And tell me, if you were in his shoes, would you disappear to protect your family or stay and risk it all? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your stories too. And if you believe truth always comes out no matter how deeply it's buried, hit that subscribe button so we can keep uncovering it together. I'll never forget that afternoon when I sat down at a wedding 3rd row from the front, clutching the cheapest dress I owned like it was armor. Everyone around me looked like they belonged in a magazine-spread silk dresses, champagne in hand, talking about summer houses and trips to Europe. And there I was, a single mom, a nurse from the city, pretending not to notice the whispers. My daughter Lily was a junior bride